pressure coming, and they blocked it. They got there. And it's a scoop and score for Southern Mississippi.
The 0-1 on the way, and Mason Robinson's hit a high fly ball. Goodbye and hello me as Mason hits it into the trees in the right field roof. A 3-run jack. Mason's first of the year, and he's put the Golden Eagles on the board 5-3 with a 2-run lead.
Hello and welcome to the Wise Guy Sports Show here on Southern Miss Radio. Let's go right into our scores. NBA, we have the Clippers losing to the Nuggets 107-92 in a close one between the Thunder and the Knicks. The Thunder came out on top 95-94. In NCAA, Kentucky loses to Georgia 72-62. LA Tech snapped an 18-game win streak with a loss to New Mexico State. Score was 78-60. Number 22 Wisconsin losing versus number 10 Michigan State 58-43. And number 19 Oregon losing to unranked Colorado 76-53. So we have a lot of games here that, a lot of surprises like we talked about every show. It's just a crazy basketball season. March Madness coming up. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. I'm going to go into our first headline right now. The Yankees closer, Mariano Rivera, will retire after the season. He hasn't actually played a game yet. He hurt himself last May, but he's expected to play in the first game right after he makes his announcement Saturday. So Rivera is 43, and he will enter his season with 608 saves. He's won 5 World Series rings with the Yankees. He became the Yankees closer in 1997. Preseason has already begun in the MLB. Opening day is less than 4 weeks away. So very exciting. I'm excited for baseball.
Me too, for sure. Mariano Rivera, one of the best players of all time, maybe the best at his position in all of sports. Welcome to the Wise Guy Sports Show. Sorry, we had a little sound difficulty. We can't really hear ourselves, so I hope we sound okay to you. I sound okay to myself, so we'll continue with the headlines. Let's go with the Atlanta Falcons maybe making a move. The mayor and the Atlanta Falcons owner, Arthur Blank, have agreed in principles to financing a new $1 billion stadium. The new deal will keep the Falcons in downtown Atlanta instead of the move to the suburbs that was previously reported. The new retractable roof stadium will replace the outdated 20-year-old Georgia Dome. So at least they're staying in downtown. I think we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, with them maybe moving to the suburbs, maybe losing that feel of being in Atlanta. So.
Right. Well, there was a lot of talk of the mayor and owner doing a lot of stuff with the surrounding neighborhoods, refurbishing, playgrounds, stuff like that. And like you said, that's kind of what they do when they build in, areas that are close to neighborhoods to try to get the people, there's a lot of parking that goes on with that, a lot of noise. So they do anything they can to really, help the surrounding area.
So at least they'll be staying downtown. Suburb stadiums are nice. I guess it'll help with traffic and all that. But just the feel of having a stadium downtown in the middle of Atlanta is so nice. I like stadiums being downtown. I mean, you have the Superdome right downtown. The atmosphere it brings to not just the game, but after the game, before the game. It just hypes that whole
tourism.
area.
You're already parked down there. It's easier to walk around. Also, Atlanta, huge city, Falcons, big team. You need a new dome, and I think that this is a smart move.
They're not going cheap either. $1 billion deal here.
What do you think? Dallas or Atlanta, it's going to be the battle.
Money,
exactly. It's going to be the battle for the best dome. So we could see them hosting a Super Bowl really soon.
Yep.
Also, in our headlines, we have the NHL proposing the realignment to 4 divisions. They'll reevaluate in 2 seasons, but it has to go through the Players Association, the Board of Governors, and it already has gone through the Executive Board. So a lot of discussion about this, but it is big news. The NHL's realignment plan calls for 16 teams in the Eastern Conference next season. Columbus and Detroit would move there from the Western Conference, which would be left with 14 teams. So the plan also calls for the league to go from its current 6-division format to 4. So this is going to be good because it's going to leave a wild card option for these teams. But, there's a lot of teams in the NHL, and I think moving it to 4 divisions would be smart.
Yeah, I like this. It makes it more competitive, I think, all around. So a good move there for the NHL, trying to get some energy into the league there. So
right.
Let's move on. With the 7 Catholic schools leaving the conference and taking the Big East name with them, the teams left behind now have to come up with a new name for their conference by July 1st. It looks like the American 12 Conference will be the new name for the 3 former Big East schools, as well as the new additions that will join the Big East this upcoming year. There are now 4 conferences this year, not including the American 12, that have numbers in their name. Only one of those has the right number, the Pac-12. The Big 12, Big 10, and the A-10, none of those have the number that is represented. So when the American 12, which I guess maybe be the A-12, when they are added into that, they'll be the 4th conference out of 5 to have the wrong amount of numbers to what the schools that are actually in the conference.
They're leading us on, Andrew.
I know, but they are trying to plan to add a 12th team by 2015. I think right now it's Tulsa to be the 12th team, but we don't know who's going to leave.
So even though there's other teams joining the Catholic 7, there still are only 7 Catholic teams, so that still holds true.
Yeah, that'll be the Big East. That'll be just those 7 schools, and they're looking to add a few teams. I believe they're adding maybe St. Louis in the future, Xavier, Creighton, I think are teams they're looking at to add. They want to get to 12 teams as well, but they're still going to just be a basketball-only conference.
Right, okay. So, this is already kind of taking place because I know for us, Conference USA is going through some changes, and UTSA, I think, won our Harlem Shake.
Us.
Our Harlem
Ours was
Shake.
a lot better.
Exactly, and they're not even in our conference yet.
Who did not go out there and vote for us to win that Harlem Shake? I don't know, but you're right. They're not in our conference. They'll
USA
be here.
Today thought we were number 1, so.
We're number 1 in our hearts, and I hope all our listeners' heart as well. So
this is going to definitely make things a lot more interesting. We will see, how competitive it gets, and definitely.
It's hard to say I guess A-12. I don't know how we're going to call this, but it's becoming the Conference USA glorified. So we'll see if maybe the 12th team, if Southern Miss can move into that. I don't even know if they want to right now with all the instability going on with that conference, but just a lot of stuff with the Big East this past year.
A lot of changes, definitely.
You look at the basketball teams right now in the Big East. Football team, it was never really good, but basketball right now, there's a lot of really good teams in it. Next year, the only team left will be UConn, Cincinnati, and South Florida. So a lot of changes to come there.
Definitely.
Well, we're going to take a short break. Hopefully we figure out our sound. Hope we sound good to you. We'll take a short break. We got some golf and some hockey to talk about right here on Southern Miss Radio.